Good evening. It's Joyful Hermit, and it's been a very rough afternoon physically and mentally as a result of the physical. Got very hot here, and I have a portable air conditioner in this room, but it's now at 83. It was up to 87, even with the air conditioner blowing, but this hermitage upstairs here gets so very, very hot. I have nowhere to be downstairs. I just have a little step stool, and I did go down there and sat on it for about a half hour, but it causes back pain for me to sit like that. And the heat up here is brutal for me. The rods in my back, I have fairly long rods screwed in, and they heat up, and they cause all the nerves in my spine to go crazy. They go up my spine, through my neck, my head, and it's sort of akin, I think, you can't think rationally when you're in that kind of pain, and it's what I would think people who are tortured go through, because all you want is to die. You don't want to be living anymore when the pain gets to that point. And in my case, I don't want to get knocked out, because the heat, this way I could keep ice, I could try to do whatever I could. A friend called. I'd emailed her that I was having the heat problem, and it's going to be a long summer, I guess, if this is the best I can do. But with this air conditioner, my daughter called, but they have a similar situation, and I can't, in this state, drive a distance to where they are. So just going to have to gut it out. At least it's down a little bit from 87. And I also was thinking about, I was talking with my friend about that I'm not going to be able to go to a parish here, at least not for a while, not physically, and why. And then we also talked a little bit about just physically for me, I have to be much better, in much better condition to attempt going anywhere. But we were discussing, I was telling her some of what I was writing and of the various opinions that I've had, including at the latest parish that I was in, and the people's just have difficulty knowing how to interact with someone who has a something rare, spiritual going on. And my friend, who's been my friend for 53 years, and is Protestant, but we're very, very close, and she's the most beautiful Christian soul, wonderful, and just an outstanding human being, very fine, what you would call a fine person, very fine people. Anyway, we were talking about how we understand how people would react, but that we would hope that in Christianity and kindness they would adapt. And they had at the cathedral some. It was more the priest and a handful who couldn't adapt. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the different opinions, and even those who would think, well, why would God have that happen to a person if other people are going to react as they react? And that especially as much as I have asked the Lord to remove it from me, although because it's altered my my social life. it perishes, and caused a lot of judging to go on, and it's not comfortable being judged at all. And so, and but there's other aspects probably as to why priests didn't really want me in their parishes, especially if they had things to hide, unfortunately, But, yeah, I said, we'd think, why wouldn't God remove it? And then we came up with different reasons why not, and people that he did not remove when they would request. And two big ones are, one is St. Paul. He asked the Lord, 3 times, remove this thorn from me. And the Lord didn't. He said, my grace is sufficient for you. And then, of course, the big one is Jesus Christ, who spent hours in the Garden of Gethsemane in agony, agonizing prayer, asking God to take the cup that was coming, take that from him. That if he didn't have to be crucified and die, but then Jesus said, thy will be done, not mine. And we know that God didn't take it from him. He allowed his own son to be brutally murdered, with all these people from his own church mocking and calling out and ridiculing and taunting. If you really are the Son of God, why isn't he coming down and saving you? So for about any angle that anyone can come up with regarding my little rare mystical state at every Mass, or why God didn't take it away, I've stopped asking him to do that. When I, this past spring, came to a point of realizing that Jesus needed to be enough for me, and I hadn't been living my life with that kind of faith that he's enough for me, then I stopped praying for it to be removed, and I just instead say, Jesus, you are enough for me. In other words, whatever you want is fine for me. My problem is desiring and yearning him so much that, and part of me, I just can't see huge reasons or purposes for me to still be alive on this earth. I think I could do so much more on the other side, especially since I am hindered physically, and can't even get to a parish, and the priest closer by has some very serious issues of which we've been praying, and this young couple was going to ask him if they could bring me communion, but I haven't heard from them, so I told them, don't be surprised if he says no. And they have a list of about 50 infractions and problems that they want to take to the bishop, but I don't see anything to do other than our novena prayer, which we did, and to keep praying for God's will for this priest. I ask all of you to pray that. We must pray it for all our priests, and I am hoping and wishing for a very deep conversion in the priest, and that he gets turned on to his vocation in a huge way. But for now, it's strange how the devil operates, but I get blocked. And this morning, before it got so hot, I was outside trying to spread some mulch, and I just said, Lord, in some situations in my life, I've got the devil by the tail, and the devil is whipping around and trying to whip me with him. But I cannot allow that to happen, and I will keep with my reading of the doctrines of Elizabeth of the Trinity. She's my friend on the other side, and my Protestant friend said, who knows in what ways that she will be of much help to you. So I find it a lot of times my Protestant friends seem to appreciate and grasp and don't belittle or question the mystical element as much as my Catholic people. So who knows why all these things of our lives occur as God wishes them to unfold. And I admit this afternoon it was very hard for me to keep focused on that reality of great trust and not second-guessing even why, with all our planning ahead and our good ideas and intentions of my family and me, that all this happened out here too, as far as getting taken advantage of with real estate and finances, having landing here and having a neighbor who wanted to take over part of my property right away through a loophole law. He didn't succeed, but they're very angry with me because they didn't get my land for nothing. What little land I have, it's not a big parcel, not even an acre. So the Lord leads us, and more and more I have to just review like a scrapbook the various visions and locutions that I've had over years and years, and they always head toward more and more suffering and more solitude. So, and that's even dreams and visions and locutions that didn't specifically mention my hermit vocation or my victim soul status. So I'm praying for all people who have ailments that the heat makes much worse, and I'm praying for all people who are being tortured. And with you in spirit, I grasp some of what it does to you and how you get to a point where you would just love to die. Just anything, take me out of this. I understand that we must wait until the Lord decides it's our time. And what we have to understand is that such as St. Paul and Jesus Christ, the Lord did His will, and they were in much better circumstances through His will in what they or others may have thought shouldn't have happened. Again, God bless His real presence in all of us.